The final voter registration weekend before the 2024 general elections. And while this year's election could be historic, it will all come down to many registered voters heading to the polls. Newzroom Afrika's Andersen takes a deep dive into the latest figures from the country's voters' roll.
The IEC announced this week that the South African voters' roll has crossed the 27 million mark for the first time. And with another voter registration weekend now underway, and online registration still open, that number will only grow before South Africans head to the polls. And since the last registration weekend in November last year, the IEC says the amount of online registrations has been sizable.
The online registration platform has proved to be the mainstay of the registrations in between the general registration weekends. We recorded just under 200,000 new registrations since the registration weekend in November. Overall, registration activity in that period is 498,000. Again, this is a new feat never realized before.
Diving deeper into that 27 million strong list of registered voters, it's clear that Gauteng and KwaZulu-Natal boast the most registered voters. The Eastern Cape comes in third, just ahead of the Western Cape. In terms of South African voters living out of the country, over 29,000 have registered so far. But while we know how many people are registered going into this weekend, the nation still does not know when this year's elections will be held. The date is yet to be declared by President Cyril Ramaphosa, but it legally has to take place in the 90-day window between May and August. And according to IEC Commissioner Janet Love, the Commission has done its part and is ready to go.
We have engaged with the President. We have explained implications that would be present in relation to the earliest date and to later dates. But ultimately, we believe that we have given the President as much information and assurance as has been requested, and now the decision will rest with the President in consultation with the Premiers.
While the date may be pronounced during next week's State of a Nation address, the voters' roll already tells us that getting young people to register to vote is still a huge challenge for the IEC. Less than 500,000 people between the ages of 18 and 19 are on the roll, while the bracket of 30 to 39 is the largest group of those registered, with 6.7 million people. For Newzroom Afrika on Channel 405, I'm Andersen in Johannesburg.